Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Lena. Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to show you all the books that I'm going to read in October. I know I haven't done the TBR game in such a long time, I know. But this month I really need to tackle my bunch of books for the self-published competition. I have to read another 10 books, so I wasn't really feeling like doing the game, honestly. But I will talk about that in a video that will be uploading next week, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I will talk about my TBR for the SPSFC. It's so hard. Next week. So let's just talk about the bunch of books that I really want to read this month. First of all, of course, I will continue my read along of The Wall of Storms by Ken Liu. This is book 2 in the Dandelion Dynasty. The live show for book 1 was last week. I will leave a link down below. I will be hosting the live show for this one. Probably going to be a mess, but who cares by now? But yeah, I'm super excited to read The Wall of Storms. I actually read this book this year in January. My favorite book of the year so far. So I really want to see if it holds up in reread. I think it will. I think it will because it's so fucking great. Like, the live show was great because both of us, Tammy and I, were just like, Curse of Kings is so good. Like, it's just so good. But yeah, I will be reading the sequel this month. Hope you join us. I will leave also the link to the Discord server down below. But yeah, The Wall of Storms. Then I really want to read like more grimdark books this month because, you know, October. So I will also be reading this one that I have here. This is a self-published book. This is There Is No Antimimetics Division. It's really weird. It's really weird. Apparently you have something that is called an anti-meme, and some of them are really dangerous, and once you kind of find them, you kind of forget about it. So it's really weird. You have to take several things into account when dealing with them. And there's a tagline in the description that was great. The last part is, welcome to the Antimemetics Division. This is not your first time. And it's just great. I think it's going to be amazing. It's a sci-fi book, so I'm super excited. But yeah, I will be 100% be reading this one this month. Then in this kind of same October vibe, I'm also going to be reading A Wish to Darken Kind, which I found on NetGalley. And I don't usually request books from NetGalley. I don't know. It's just, I'm having some trouble with the website, and I just don't care enough to find books there. But found this, and I was just like, okay, I need to read this. Basically, it's about a reunion of immortals. And apparently one of them is dead or something like that. It's kind of a whodunit, but with immortal beings. So I'm just really excited about it. Like, the cover looks awesome. It's coming out November 1st. So yeah, I will be 100% reading it this month. I just got approved like yesterday. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. So for all the books that I have physically here, well, one hasn't arrived yet, but it will be today. I'm also going to be reading A Master of Djinn. Was that the name, right? I always say that Dead Djinn in Cairo, but that's the name of the novella. And I always mess it up. But yeah, I read the previous book, like the little novella, a couple of months ago, not even maybe that much ago, but I really, really like it. The world is great. It's a steampunk urban fantasy novella set in Cairo. I was kind of blown away by it. I really, really enjoyed it. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I will do the same thing with this one because I loved it. It was a great way to experience it. I don't really know what the book is about, and I don't really want to know because I went to the novella like not knowing much about anything, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So I think I'm going to just do the same with A Master of Djinn. But yeah, I'm super excited. Most of my black book fellas have loved this, so I'm super excited. I've also heard that it's super engaging and it drags you in. So I'm super excited because I've been looking for books like that will hook me. I haven't had like that much luck yet, except with one book that I just kind of mood read this month. So I'm including it in this TBR, even though it's massive. But yeah, we'll be reading A Master of Djinn. Then, this grimdark has been in my radar for so long because it's actually written by a woman, which is not that usual, honestly, in grim dark fantasy, but this is The Court of Broken Knives by Anna Smith Spark, and I've always kept an eye on this series, but I never kind of got the physical book, but I bought this during the summer, and I think this is the perfect time to read this, honestly. I just love grim dark as a general. I have no idea what this one is about besides that. I've also heard that it's very gory. It has like very, very mixed reviews, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, I'm super excited. Also, the trilogy is now complete, so I can easily binge read this. So I'm extra excited about that. But yeah, I miss grimdark. I actually really missed like sci-fi fantasy this month. I really want to read fantasy. You can see it on my TBR. But yeah, last month I only read sci-fi, and in August I read a lot of like thriller type of books and such. So I really want to tackle some fantasy tomes this month. But yeah, I'm super excited about this one. I cannot wait to read it. Then of course, this is Uncrowned by Will White, which is volume 7? Volume 7 already. Holy shit. So yeah, I will be finishing the Cairo series this year after reading one book a month since March, I believe. But yeah, if you haven't heard what, you know that I love this series. It's been like my comfort read throughout this whole year. It doesn't matter if I was in a reading slump or anything, I always read the Cradle that month. But yeah, I've been loving this. Basically, you follow Lena and his brand. He is basically an unsouled, meaning that he doesn't have affinity with the magic of his tribe. But one day he decides that, you know, even though he doesn't have this affinity, he's going to try and fight his way through magic, and it's great. It's great. If you like sufficiently advanced magic, you're 100% going to love the Cradle series. But yeah, it's super fun, like super comfort read. Like, it's such a great comfort read. But yeah, I've been loving it. I cannot wait to continue. And oh my god, Underlord, the previous book, was so good, like so good. Then I requested this book from Rebellion Publishing. This is The Liar of Red Valley by Walter Goodwater. I believe that it has already come out. I was sent this as an ARC, even though it's a finished copy. But if I'm remembering correctly, I think it came out this week, at least in the US. But yeah, I was lucky enough to be on a panel where we discussed this book, and it sounded so great. Like, honestly, the tagline is just like, don't trust the liar, do not cross the king, never ever go in the river. It's kind of a horror-y fantasy book, so I'm extra excited about it. But yeah, again, as everyone else, I'm in that horror vibe already. I love October and November, my favorite months of the year. So yeah, I cannot wait. I'm honestly super excited about reading this book. Not gonna lie, it has something that is very intriguing to me. But yeah, I also got the audiobook for this, so I'm really excited to read it. Then, my Spanish book for this month is going to be Rojo by Carlos Cici. I have already read a series by this author. It's a zombie series that is actually pretty popular here, but he has like this series that is about vampires, and I remember already reading like the first chunk of it, but I never finished it. But you know, I think it's the perfect time of the year to read this. I thought about reading Transcrepuscular, but I'm really not in the pure sci-fi mood. I'm actually trying to finish a redemption arc, but I'm really not enjoying it. So I think I might pause it and just read what I have left throughout the month, because I'm just in a kind of thriller sci-fi mood, in a fantasy mood, not like in a pure hard sci-fi. So I don't want to just like taint my enjoyment, so I think I'm going to pause it. But talking about Rojo, so yeah, vampires. I have no idea if it's going to be good or not, because none of my friends have read it, but it's a very well-known author here, so I think it's going to be amazing. Then the last two chunkers that I have here. The first one is going to be The House of Always by Jen Lyons, which is book 4 in A Curse of Dragons. I have just mistreated by new releases so much this year. I had like one of my most anticipated releases here, and the next one is also one, and I didn't read them for some reason. But yeah, I think it's about time for me to read The House of Always. Basically, in the first book, A Ruin of... What is the name? The Ruin of Kings. But in The Ruin of Kings, we're going to follow Kieranth. He is basically in prison, and he's telling us his life story. If you're a fan of how The Name of the Wind is told, you're really going to love this book, even though they are completely different. Like, nothing to do with one another. Like, so many things happen in this book. In every single one of them. It's very like plot driven, but also it spends a lot of time with characters, especially in book 2. Yeah, especially in book 2. But book 1 is my favorite. We also have like different creatures, gods. It's great. I love this series. It's heavily underrated because book 1 is a bit of a mess, jumping around with different timelines and different POVs. I get that, but I love it and I cannot wait to read this one. After the ending of book 3, that was mind-blowing. I cannot wait. Also, these books come out like 6 months apart from each other. So if you are one that likes to binge read series, perfect pick for you. And then the last one that I have here is so fucking big. Like, look at it. It has more than 850 pages. But this is Master Artificer by Justin Cole. I love Master of Sorrows. I was one of the luckiest ones because I got to read it really early, but that meant that I wait for this book like 2 years or 3 maybe. I love the first one. Basically, is about the trope of the chosen one, but maybe instead of being the chosen one for good, it's a chosen one for evil. It's great. I really like the first book. It's very different from this one. This is the one that I have already started because I was feeling it. I have already read like the first 100 pages and it's so good. Like, the first one objectively is really not perfect. It has really huge issues with pacing, but I love it. So I was super excited to read this book when it came out, but sadly I just fell into a fucking reading slump that lasted for months during the summer. So I never actually read it, but now it's time. And I'm just super excited because I have already started it and it's just so good. So good, man. I will be reading more of this today, 100%. But yeah, I also need to finish Spirits of Vengeance because I got a physical copy already. So I really need to tackle that. But it doesn't matter. Master Artificer, I think, is great. Is leaning towards more grimdark apparently, which is great for me. But yeah, I'll let you know more in the what the fuck am I reading editions. But yeah, that's going to be all for this TBR. As I've told you, I will talk about the sci-fi book, the self-published books, in the next video. Next week, I have another one first. But what are you going to read this month? Do you actually make TBRs or are you a mood reader? I have to say that I have been enjoying mood reading lately, but I miss doing TBRs. So this is why we're having one this month. But yeah, what are you currently reading? Just let me know down in the comments below. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.